outstanding again here tonight. I don't know how you take him off the field no matter how the foot is for Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I agree with that, Joe, and I don't think they will. I don't think you can, quite honestly, because it wasn't like they were playing good offensively while Kyler Murray was playing. Their best football has been the last 3 games. Granted, they lost the previous 2, but with this win, this is big. I don't know how you then send Jacoby Brissett to the bench.
Will Kyler still be your starting quarterback?
John, nothing's changed on that. That's how I feel.
Really, Coach Gannon? Nothing's changed after yesterday. After you snap a 5-game losing streak and Brissett throws for 261 yards. I don't know. There's definitely a predicament, though. We heard Troy Aikman and Joe Buck obviously say, I don't know how you move away from Jacoby Brissett after now he goes 1-0. It's the first time ever playing against the Dallas Cowboys. Clearly, the Cardinals look better with him under center. Yet, Kyler Murray is your franchise quarterback. What do you do, Drew Brees? What do you do if you're Jonathan Gannon going forward with the quarterback position?
Well, I mean, is Kyler Murray your franchise quarterback? I mean, has he ever been your franchise quarterback? I mean, everything that I've ever heard coming out of Carolina is you've got mixed emotions all over the place, from the fan base to the locker room to so many. And I know that you paid him, and I know that you've basically put him in that position and tried to set him up for success. But at the end of the day, I don't think that's never been solidified there. That's always been an up in the air, and it's really you've never had a moment where somebody stepped in and actually given the team some hope. And now you have that with Jacoby Brissett, a veteran guy who has a ton of maturity. I mean, you just see him coming into his own. You see the way that the players respond to him. You could feel it last night as you're watching the game, and it's hard to put numbers or metrics to that other than just what you're watching. And I don't think you can take Jacoby Brissett off the field right now. They played their best football over the last couple of weeks. They're trending up, and at the end of the day, if I'm the head coach, I'm going around to the leaders on the team, and I'm pulling them in the office. And I'm going to get their perspective. I'm going to get their feeling on it. But I think you have to roll with Jacoby Brissett at this point.
I understand where Drew is headed with it, and I get it. Like, has Kyler ever been? I would tell you there's the game of football and there's the business of football. And I think the business of football is going to put Kyler back in that starting role, right? Is that you go get guys like Jacoby Brissett to come in and give you 3 or 4 games where you stay competitive, right? So he's 1-2. They beat the Cowboys, who got the 2nd worst defense in the league. They put up some good points. They played a tough game against the Packers, a tough game against the Colts, where they moved the ball. They are definitely better, like offensively, number-wise statistics, with him being at that position. But when you made the investment the Cardinals have made into Kyler Murray, it would be this is a massive move, because if you bench him or you stay with Jacoby Brissett when he's 100%, you're going to have to cut him. This is not going to be a guy you're not going to make your backup, right? And you can't trade him because of his contract. Otherwise, you're going to have all kinds of issues, right? And so so the business of football tells me Kyler Murray is going to be a starter, whether we like it or not, whether Jacoby Brissett has played his way into a position. And listen, from a guy who came from an undrafted rookie free agent, I can let you know, football ain't fair. And they play a lot of guys ahead of you that you got to go beat out. And this one in particular at this position, and Drew knows it better than everybody else, when you put that much money into a guy, you better have a hard sell to ownership that we're moving off of this guy permanently. Because if you bench him, then that's where you're going to have to go. It's not going to go quietly into the night. Yeah, I don't feel like Kyler. I don't know Kyler at all, but I wouldn't feel like he's going to be the guy that's just super quiet about getting benched for an injury. And that's just my take on the business versus the game.
Stephen A?
Well, he's not going to be super quiet. He's definitely not going to be happy. He's probably going to want out. Let's make sure we throw out some of these facts. Number one, he was the number 1 overall pick in 2019, okay? He hasn't had a winning season as a starter since his 2nd Pro Bowl year in 2021, okay? And the coach, Jonathan Gannon, didn't arrive until 2023 along with the GM. So loyalty doesn't apply here. Those guys came 4 years after Kyler Murray was drafted number 1. They don't owe him anything. They're trying to win, so they don't owe him anything. You got to get that out the way. Secondly, when we look at the comparisons between him and Jacoby Brissett, clearly Jacoby Brissett has been far more productive right now when you compare 357 to 288, 287 in passing yards to 192, 25.7 points per game, 20.6 points per game, right? So now here's where it gets tricky and the business element comes into play, as you pointed out, Jeff. Kyler Murray is in the second year of an extension where he's receiving an annual salary of $46.1 million, okay? Second year of a massive 5-year contract extension. From the business perspective, you want to be able to make sure you get some compensation for a Kyler Murray, as opposed to just letting him walk out the door. That's what I think. So, if that's what your ultimate business move is, let's make sure we get some equitable compensation for his services, because there's some things we could get for Kyler Murray out there, because a lot of teams could use a quarterback like Kyler Murray. Let's be very, very clear about that. It's not like the guy's a scrub and can't play, and it's not like he's not a dual threat, because he can run with the football better than most, and I think that's incredibly important. But the flip side to it is this: if I'm going to let him go, right, then perhaps I bring him back, put him in the starting lineup, and see what he has. Or I'm looking, what decision do I make? Am I better off putting him in and seeing how he plays and hope we don't nosedive, and as a result his value doesn't diminish? Or am I better off doing that, or holding him out and letting Jacoby Brissett play and just moving on from him thereafter? Because if you do that, what kind of effect is that going to have on the marketability? If you've already benched him and said you don't want him, and Jacoby Brissett is our new quarterback for the future, for this year and the future, how's that going to help you when you're trying to make a deal to get something for Kyler Murray? I think that's what we have to go back and forth with, CC, in terms of thinking what's the best course of action to take in terms of Kyler Murray moving forward. I definitely don't think he's the future of the Arizona Cardinals. I think they know that, but it's about trying to get some compensation for him.
Yeah, well, weighing playing him and the team continuing to lose versus benching him and seeing what happens, I think those are two bad choices that this regime is faced with. But the reality is this: the product on the field is better.
Yeah.
And the head coach is in a position where he got to win games to save his damn job. Jacoby Brissett makes this offense better. They're averaging a touchdown more per game. They're averaging 80 yards more passing per game, 70 more total yards per game. And you know what? When we start talking about the return on investment, how about Trey McBride, who you made the second highest paid tight end in the sport? How does he look with Jacoby Brissett as your quarterback versus Kyler Murray? Or what about Marvin Harrison Jr.? How does he look? Top 5 pick from a year ago. How does he look with Jacoby Brissett as your quarterback versus Kyler Murray? That might be the biggest indictment on Kyler Murray, what those two pass catchers look like with a different signal caller. Last night, on the first 2 drives, Jacoby Brissett, 5 of 7 targeting Marvin Harrison Jr., 4 first downs and a touchdown where he put Deron Bland in the spin cycle. The throw that Jacoby Brissett made to Michael Wilson coming out of halftime on the deep dig, I can't tell you the last time I saw Kyler Murray make a throw like that.
Right. It does.
The evolution of the passing game, the offense as a whole is different. Even though I'll acknowledge Kyler Murray is a more dynamic player, the offense is more dynamic with Jacoby Brissett as their quarterback, which is why I think they should stay with Jacoby as their starter for the rest of the season if they're trying to win football games.
The problem is you don't have a lot of time to tinker with this decision, because you have to go to Seattle next weekend and face the Seahawks, who are blowing people out of the water at this point and could embarrass you, okay? So you don't have time to be like, maybe we should throw in a Kyler Murray. Maybe we should stick with Jacoby Brissett. It sounds like you're the only one here that thinks Kyler Murray.
I'm not even throwing my weight. I love Jacoby Brissett. Even you brought him as a backup quarterback. He's doing what you ask of backup quarterbacks. Unfortunately for Kyler Murray, is the numbers are better. They're playing hot. But I'm just going to tell you, from a guy who's been in the locker room my whole life, like, the backup quarterback's always the favorite guy in the locker room, right? But if they slide, right, they go to Seattle and they lose, and they back up with another. He's lost 4 of 5, right? Like, all of a sudden the dynamic changed.
Bye.